was good. That was so good. So good.
Yeah, I just wanna feel you. I want you around.
Hey y'all, this is Brittney Giselle. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all so much for tuning into this video. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like and comment down below, and hit the notification bell so that every time I upload, you'll be the first to know. Today's video is actually a combination of two different things that I'm bringing to my channel. One I already started, which is my monthly Let's Chat videos. And I'm just going to be talking about different topics, important topics to me, and that's going to be a part of my Let's Chat series and playlist. Being that it is Black History Month, I wanted to make sure I brought something that was very worthy of our time together, of bringing this topic. And I thought, why not? Netflix recommendations is something that I've been wanting to do. There are a lot of movies and series out there that are very educational, very touching, emotional, that are eye-opening, and I wanted to go ahead and make sure that I shared that with you all. I'm not gonna make this too long because I already have a lot of details to give you all. Netflix recommendations, my top 10 from the Black Lives Matters collection. I will also make sure that I add in the rating, the genre that it is, and the length of it. If you watch any of these, or if you have any of these on your watch list, please let me know down below in the comments. I would love to chat about these. Because these are Netflix recommendations, I felt it was fit to sit on my couch, be comfy, be cozy. So if you want, grab some popcorn, grab a drink, whatever you want. And without further ado, let's jump into our Black Lives Matters collection of Netflix recommendations. I do have my notes, so please forgive me if I'm looking down too much, but I want to make sure that I hit all of the points that I wanted to touch base on. So my very first one is Colin in Black and White. It is a limited series inspired by Colin Kaepernick. I know most people know he's a football player. He is black and white, so he's biracial. And it's about him embracing his individuality, growing up, being biracial, and he was actually raised in a white household, which I didn't know he was adopted until I watched the series. So definitely you want to watch that to get a little background on his experiences, because that was totally eye-opening for me. I had no idea. It was mostly about how his experiences have shifted and molded his life into the way he is now, and the choices that he has made, because we all know that he has been in a media mainstream, a well-known person for his actions and him wanting to make a change and his reasons. So definitely something that you should put on your watch list. Number 2 on my list is Self-Made, inspired by the life of Madam C.J. Walker. Yeah, this was good. When this came out, I was like, again, another one that's very eye-opening, very inspiring, and just seeing someone else's experiences and what came from them. So this is a limited series based on a true story on Madam C.J. Walker. Let me start off with the role of Madam C.J. Walker is played by the amazing Octavia Spencer. Y'all, she is such a great actor. It's showcasing her rise from poverty to building a beauty empire. And the story is so inspirational. It's motivating. It's definitely a feel-good kind of story behind it. If you're not familiar with her, I would definitely recommend watching it. Madam C.J. Walker was the first self-made woman in the beauty empire. So the title of the series is very fitting. It just made me think wow, women are so strong. We've been doing this for a long time, and I'm glad that these stories are finally being showcased, being put out on the spotlight. This story was truly amazing. The actors, surprisingly, Tiffany Haddish was in it. The role that she played is something that we're just not used to seeing her in. So it was very interesting seeing her switch from comedic to serious. And if you love Tiffany Haddish, if you love Octavia Spencer, go give this one a watch and you're gonna love it. I know you will. Number 3, we're going a little more into the serious ones. This one is When They See Us. It is a 4-part limited series that Netflix came out with. It is a must watch. It's based on a true story of the Central Park 5, which is 5 men. They were falsely accused of attacking a woman in Central Park, and it takes you through the storylines, but also I felt like it was very touching because they were falsely accused because they were young black men, and these are things that are still going on today, unfortunately. And it was just interesting to see how, even though they were falsely accused, this happened in 1989. So 32 years ago. To see that some of these men, like I do my research. When I'm like really inspired or motivated by something, like I look beyond where I learned it from. So, you know, I started researching them, and to see how some of them have taken this experience and just like went off, and just to see like the variety, the diversity of how their lives were changed because of this experience was very interesting as well. So I definitely had to add this one to the list because it is an amazing, it's really 5 or 6 different stories, you know, the woman's story versus the 5 men, and how all of these lives were changed from like one specific situation. But it's definitely a must watch. Go see it right now. Pause the video, pause this video, go watch it, come back and let me know what you thought. All right, y'all. Number 4 is All Day and the Night. And it is based on a young black man's life, his experiences, and how he ended up in prison serving a life sentence. Pretty much is about how the system is set up for a life of failure, crime, and deciding right from wrong. He battles, you know, right from wrong. Like, he knows right from wrong. And you're just placed in certain situations. It's like, even though you want to do the right thing, or how much you try to do the right thing, that's not always the outcome. And I can truly attest to this with like my situations in life. It's like, no matter what you try to do, you know right from wrong. Like, we know. And it just life puts us in situations that sometimes it's like, in the blink of an eye, we have to make a decision, and it may not be the best decision, but nonetheless, this was a great watch. The main character is, oh my gosh, what's his name? Hold on. Y'all, the main actor is Ashton Sanders. I'm not good with names, so you know how to look him up. But he is actually an incredible, like, actor. He's amazing. So the most memorable, like, when I think of his face, I think of Wu-Tang. If you have not watched Wu-Tang, woo, go watch it. It's not on Netflix. That'll be on a different recommendation list. But he's an amazing actor. He also played in Moonlight, the character from Moonlight. He is such a great actor. Like, it's not even about his looks, y'all. It's just his acting, his performance, the level that he can take us to, like, emotionally, is there. So he's good. It's a must watch just because he's the main character. Like, he's so good. Number 5 is Becoming. Y'all, I had to bring my lady Michelle Obama to the show, okay? If you don't love Michelle Obama, what's wrong with you? Because that is my girl. It's a documentary based on Michelle Obama. We already know she's our former first lady. She takes us along her journey to becoming, like, becoming her, a woman, a mother, a lawyer, the first lady. Like, it's so, like, the way that they put it together, it was just like, wow. Like, I makes me want to meet her, makes me want to sit down, have a conversation, like, just get all the gems from her, because it was so good. So some words that I put down to describe it is strong, unplugged, fierce, motivating, and inspiring, y'all. It's just, and I also have her book. I started reading the book. It's kind of taking us along, like, her releasing her book as well. So that's why I felt like I definitely want to read the book, because it seemed like I've heard nothing but great things about it. Something about a visual thing for me. Like, I can read it, but like visually seeing her, knowing a little bit of her background just makes me want to know more. So it's definitely on the list. It's a feel good. It's like a lighthearted kind of feel good. I don't know how feel good. It made me feel good. I don't know how to explain it. Okay. It made me feel good. Number 6 on my list is Whose Streets. This is a documentary, very, very well put together, showcasing leaders and activists as they made their way through the Black Lives Matter movement in Ferguson. And this was back in 2014 when Michael Brown was shot and killed. It's a story on their insights into, like, the riots, their thoughts, their feelings of locals, of actual, like, activists and protesters in that area. And it was a very heartfelt documentary to watch. It was hard if you remember the situation happening. It's just like, wow, like, just seeing kind of like more details than just like what the news put out or like social media. This was more of like a very insightful piece to that specific situation. Moving along to number 7, it is Two Distant Strangers. This is actually a short film. So it's about a young black man who's actually played by Joey Badass, and how he's stuck in a loop. It consists of him trying to get home from like a good night with like a young girl. You know, they was kicking it, they were doing their thing. And when he leaves her place, he continues to have a run-in with a cop. It results in him dying. It results in death. So because he's going through a loop, every time that he goes to the loop, when he realizes it, he tries to figure out how to get out of the, how to explain? He's trying to figure out how to end the loop without dying. Like every time he continues to die. And no matter what he does, like whatever changes he makes, it results in him being dead at the end of the loop. So it was a very interesting, like, mind F kind of video, but it was short, it was quick, it got to the point, like the changes like were coming. So I don't know, it's really good. It was really, really good, and you should definitely go and watch it because you're gonna be like, what? Like, what? Yeah, it was crazy. Number 8 is called American Son, and this is one that I actually watched recently. I noticed it before, but I didn't watch it, and something finally told me, like, just watch it. And I did, and I'm glad that I did because it's not what I expected it to be. It was very different from other movies that I watched. So it's about an interracial boy, he's black and white, who goes missing, and the mom reports it to the police. And it's pretty much like the police officer is like her and the police officer going back and forth. The dad is introduced into the situation, and then the dad and the mom start going back and forth. And what was really interesting is that it's pretty much about showing like how the police officers and the system it's kind of like, again, it's set up for failure. And they were just not being helpful at all. Like, it pretty much focused on like the misfortunes and perceptions of being black in America. They'll start to hit like perceptions and like misunderstandings and assumptions of people based off of very minute things. And I thought that was interesting. I'm like, wow, like they really connected those two and thought, you'll see. And also, if you like Kerry Washington, I'm bad with names, but Kerry Washington is a name that I will never forget. She's another amazing actor. She's from the beginning to the end. Like, and what was also interesting about it is it's a movie that literally took place, like it was a one scene movie. Yeah, it was a one scene movie, and it was like it all took place like in one location. It was very interesting to like see it from like different angles as well. I don't know, I started getting into it, like, and when I noticed that, I was like, oh shit, like they're really like not taking it anywhere else. I don't know, but I'm not gonna say nothing else. Go watch it. That one was good. But my last thing that I wanted to hit on it is that it reminded us that the system is set up for failure and injustices. Basically, like, the system is not for us. It's not, it's like the system is against us, pretty much. That's what it showed. And go watch it. Number 9 is called See You Yesterday. This is another good one. It is on like social issues, sci-fi, teen drama, stuff like that. So it's about a young girl and her friend, and they're like scientists. They're scientists in the making. Like they're really like, you know, I don't want to say nerdy, but like, you know, they're really into science and math and like building and stuff like that. And they believe in time travel, so they are building a time travel machine. It's something tragic happens where they want to put their time machine to the test and travel back in time to change the sequence of events. So this is another one that's kind of like a loop, like the other one that I mentioned, Two Distant Strangers. And it was very interesting to see that they were similar storylines. So this one is actually a movie, so this one's longer, but the other one, A Distant Stranger, was a short film. But now that I'm like actually saying it out loud, they had very similar situations. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to say what the situation exactly, who it is to them, to the two teenagers, but it is, you know, it ends up in fatality. There was more to it about like the mentality of like younger kids wanting to do better in life, like they're excelling. Also showcase how these particular situations affect family members, friends, the community. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say too much. because I'd be talking. Number 10, this one is really, really good, very interesting. I've watched something on this before and I cannot remember what it was called. But this is actually like just a very short version of it. It's called A Love Song for Latasha. Based on Latasha Harlins, I believe she was 15, back in 1991 in South Central LA, where she was shot in a store when she went to purchase juice because she was accused of stealing orange juice. This is a love song from her best friend and her cousin who she was really close with. Just hearing like their perspective on it, and just always wishing her love, and a little bit about what has happened like after that. So it was from her story, Latasha Harlins and Rodney King, that actually led to the LA riots, because the outcome of the story was not like the way that the story occurred, and the outcome of like pretty much like there was just like no justice for it. That and the Rodney King story together is what really led people to begin the LA riots. But yeah, these are all amazing stories that I hope that you all watch and share with other people, because they're definitely stories that need to be known about, that need to be talked about, shared, and it helps with educating our youth as well. Those were my Black Lives Matters collection of Netflix recommendations. I truly hope that you got something from this video, that you're going to go and self-educate yourself and just learn about these stories that are so important to be known. If you watched any of these, please make sure that you comment down below so we can talk about it together. If you haven't, which are you most interested in watching? And after you watch them, come back, let me know what you thought about it. Like, did you think it was a good story? Was it worth the time? But yeah, that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. It's not a part of the Black Lives Matter collection, so this is like a bonus, but Monster, y'all, that movie was so good. So it's not a real story, but it's based off of a book, a novel. Woo, that had me on my tiptoes some moments. That one was good. So it was good.